From the moment Donald Trump descended the escalator in Trump Tower to announce his candidacy, his presidency was draped in the language of American exceptionalism. Central to this promise was a commitment to rewrite the rules of global trade. Trump's tariffs, presented as a shield against foreign competition, have become a defining characteristic of his presidency. These levies have sent shockwaves through global markets and ignited a trade war with China. The true legacy of Trump's tariffs may not be fully understood for years to come. In the intricate web of the global economy, businesses thrive on predictability. Investment decisions hinge on forecasting costs, assessing risks, and anticipating demand. Trump's tariffs, often announced with little warning, have disrupted this delicate machinery. The foundation of business planning, stability and foresight, has been shaken. This instability has had a chilling effect on investment. Businesses delay or cancel projects, hesitant to commit resources. The consequences are far-reaching, pushing the global economy closer to recession. Imagine a company, let's call it Global Gears, preparing to build a new factory. They've spent months, maybe years, meticulously planning. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, the tariffs hit. Suddenly, the price of steel skyrockets. The entire project is plunged into uncertainty. This scenario reflects the dilemmas faced by businesses in the age of Trump's tariffs. The unpredictability of trade actions creates a chilling effect on investment. The automotive industry, a truly globalized sector, illustrates the disruptive impact of tariffs. Mitsubishi and Nissan, drawn to Mexico by lower labor costs, faced Trump's tariffs. The threat of a 25% levy forced them to rethink investments. This uncertainty impacted suppliers, distributors, and workers. The ripple effects of tariffs are widespread and deeply felt. Trump's tariffs have eroded trust in the United States as a reliable trading partner. This erosion has profound implications for global trade and the role of the United States. The World Trade Organization has been particularly undermined by these actions. Many countries now question the United States' commitment to the system it helped create. The uncertainty and instability have fueled a broader trend towards protectionism. Economic recessions, often characterized by periods of declining economic activity, job losses, and reduced consumer spending, are a recurring feature of the modern capitalist system. While numerous factors can contribute to these downturns, a key driver is often a sharp decline in investment. Investment, particularly business investment in new equipment, factories, and research and development, is the lifeblood of a healthy economy. When businesses are confident about the future, they invest, creating jobs, boosting productivity, and driving economic growth. However, when uncertainty clouds the horizon, as it has under the shadow of Trump's tariffs, businesses tend to pull back, putting the brakes on investment and jeopardizing economic stability. This pullback in investment is not merely a theoretical concern, it's a tangible consequence of the uncertainty generated by Trump's trade policies. The tariffs, often imposed with little warning and subject to sudden changes, make it incredibly difficult for businesses to plan for the future. Faced with volatile input costs, the threat of retaliatory tariffs, and the unpredictable nature of U.S. trade policy, businesses have become increasingly risk-averse, choosing to delay or cancel investment projects rather than risk capital in such a turbulent environment. This hesitancy to invest has a ripple effect throughout the economy. When businesses curtail investment, it translates into fewer jobs created, suppressed wage growth, and reduced consumer spending. This decline in economic activity can, in turn, further erode business confidence, leading to a vicious cycle of declining investment and economic contraction. The link between corporate profits and economic stability is often misunderstood. Healthy corporate profits are essential for a thriving economy. Profitable businesses invest, hire, and pay higher wages. This fuels economic growth and boosts living standards. When profits decline, businesses cut costs, leading to layoffs and wage freezes. This impacts working families and the broader economy. The global economy is a complex web of trade relationships and financial flows. Economic shocks in one part of the world can quickly spread, impacting distant regions. Trump's tariffs disrupt global trade, creating potential for a recessionary spiral. Businesses may pull back on investment, reduce hiring, and delay expansion. This slowdown could ripple through global supply chains, impacting many. Erosion of trust in trade norms could lead to more protectionism. The potential for a global recession highlights the need for a stable trading system. The economic damage from tariffs may take years to repair. The global political landscape is a complex ecosystem where actions in one part of the world can have far-reaching consequences. Economic shocks like Trump's tariffs rarely remain confined to national borders. World leaders facing domestic challenges might find scapegoats. Enter Donald Trump and his trade wars. Trump's tariffs create a convenient narrative for leaders to deflect blame. By pointing to U.S. trade policy, leaders shift blame from their own policies. This scapegoating serves several purposes. Politically, it allows leaders to appear strong and decisive. Economically, it provides a convenient explanation for difficult times. And diplomatically, it allows countries to align against a common adversary. The danger is that it distracts from the need for collective action. While Trump's tariffs contribute to uncertainty, they are not the sole cause. Focusing on the U.S. as a scapegoat risks overlooking the need for coordinated action. The United States, long a global leader, has seen its influence wane under the Trump administration's America First policy. This approach, marked by tariffs and protectionism, has strained relationships with allies and opened the door for other countries to challenge U.S. dominance. Trump's tariffs, particularly on European steel and aluminum, have been seen as aggressive, prompting other nations to adopt protectionist measures. This narrative of U.S. overreach has fueled calls for the European Union to defend its economic interests more assertively. As the U.S. retreats from global leadership, other powers are eager to fill the vacuum, potentially destabilizing the global order. The shift in power dynamics could undermine the rules-based system that has supported global peace and prosperity for decades. The danger lies in this becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy, with the U.S. further isolating itself. The global order is at a crossroads with significant implications for future stability. The global power balance is shifting, with China's rise challenging the US-dominated world order. Trump's tariffs have accelerated this shift, alienating allies and undermining the rules-based trading system. China has seized the opportunity to position itself as a champion of free trade, strengthening ties with Europe, Asia, and Africa. This shift has tangible consequences for businesses and consumers as China's influence grows and it shapes global economic rules. The trade wars, particularly with China, have backfired, weakening US influence and leaving the global trading system vulnerable. The long-term consequences could reshape the global power balance, potentially to the detriment of US interests. The erosion of US influence is not just a geopolitical concern, but has real-world impacts on global trade and economic stability. The future of US leadership on the world stage is uncertain, with significant implications for global governance. The US once symbolized stability in the global economy, but Trump's unpredictable trade policies have shaken this foundation. Businesses are now looking to China, despite concerns about fair trade practices, as a more stable and predictable market. China's commitment to globalization and a rules-based trading system has made it an attractive alternative. The uncertainty generated by US tariffs has led companies to diversify supply chains and shift production to China. This shift is reflected in investment patterns and strategic decisions by businesses worldwide. The perception of China as a safe haven is growing, driven by the need to mitigate risks posed by US trade policy. The global economic landscape is changing, with China playing an increasingly central role. The implications of this shift are profound, affecting global trade and investment flows. China's rise has been marked by strategic partnerships and diplomatic ties worldwide. The Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, exemplifies this strategy, connecting China to the world through infrastructure projects. While criticized for creating debt, the BRI has been welcomed by many countries seeking investment. Beyond the BRI, China is strengthening ties with key trading partners and investing in strategic sectors. This approach has expanded China's influence and provided leverage in global dealings. Trump's tariffs have inadvertently aided China, presenting it as a more reliable partner. As the U.S. embraces protectionism, China is filling the void, reshaping the global order. The global balance of power is shifting, with China emerging as a key player. The global power balance is transforming, with China's rise challenging U.S. dominance. The U.S. remains a formidable power, but its influence has waned due to foreign policy blunders and unpredictable politics. Trump's unilateralism and protectionism have accelerated this decline, alienating allies. China has seized the opportunity, expanding its influence and promoting a multipolar world order. While concerns about China's human rights record and ambitions persist, many countries welcome its investment. Trump's trade policies have ironically strengthened China's global position. The future of American exceptionalism is uncertain, with China playing a more influential role. The world is entering a new era with significant challenges and opportunities for the global order. The U.S. once guaranteed a global order based on free markets and democratic institutions. Trump's America First agenda has shaken this order, raising questions about future U.S. leadership. The immediate risk is the erosion of U.S. influence and the weakening of global stability. As the U.S. disengages, other powers are eager to fill the vacuum, potentially destabilizing the global landscape. The economic consequences of U.S. isolationism are concerning, disrupting global supply chains and creating uncertainty. This climate of fear makes it difficult for businesses to plan and invest confidently. The potential for a global trade war could lead to slower growth and job losses. The U.S. risks becoming isolated with diminished economic might and influence. As the U.S. turns inward, the BRICS nations are gaining influence. Representing a significant portion of the world's population and economic output, BRICS challenges the Western-dominated global order. Trump's trade war with China has strengthened BRICS's resolve to create a multipolar world. BRICS countries present themselves as champions of free trade and globalization. They seek to reform global governance, reduce reliance on the US dollar, and promote cooperation among developing countries. The new development bank is an alternative to Western-dominated institutions like the World Bank. The rise of BRICS offers potential for increased trade and investment, but also risks further fragmenting the global economy. The global landscape is evolving, with BRICS playing a more prominent role. The legacy of Trump's tariffs will shape the global economy for years to come. The disruptions caused by these tariffs have left a mark on the global landscape. The damage to the rules-based trading system has eroded trust in international trade norms. This erosion creates an environment where countries pursue unilateral actions, leading to protectionist measures. The benefits of free trade are diminished, replaced by uncertainty and instability. The long shadow of Trump's tariffs highlights the interconnected nature of the global economy. International cooperation and a commitment to a rules-based system are crucial for future stability. The world faces a choice between cooperation and conflict, with profound consequences for generations to come. To understand Donald Trump's trade wars, one must delve into the psyche of a man who built his persona as a shrewd negotiator. Trump cultivated an image of himself as a ruthless dealmaker, thriving on confrontation and brinkmanship. His presidency was marked by bluster and a disregard for traditional norms. In international trade, Trump believed the U.S. had been taken advantage of. He aimed to rewrite the rules in America's favor, using aggressive tactics like tariffs. Supporters argued his tactics were necessary to shake up a rigged system. Critics warned his approach was flawed and would backfire, damaging relationships with key allies and harming American workers. Trump's trade policies focused on short-term political gains, often ignoring long-term consequences. He prioritized appealing to his base, using tariffs to defend American jobs. This strategy rallied supporters, but harmed the economy. His impulsive decisions and reliance on inexperienced advisors led to chaos, alienating allies and damaging the U.S. "assess reputation. This risked ceding ground to rivals like China. While Trump's penchant for tariffs and trade wars was often attributed to his own personal beliefs and leadership style, it's important to note that not everyone in his administration shared his enthusiasm for protectionism. Reports emerged of deep divisions within the White House, with some advisors urging caution and warning of the potential economic and geopolitical fallout from Trump's aggressive trade policies. These voices of dissent, however, often found themselves marginalized or ignored. Trump, known for his disdain for experts and his tendency to surround himself with loyalists who reinforced his own views, seemed more interested in validating his own instincts than in listening to those who cautioned against the risks of his approach. This dynamic created a sense of frustration and helplessness among those within the administration who understood the complexities of international trade and the potential consequences of Trump's actions. They found themselves trapped in a Cassandra complex, able to foresee the dangers ahead but unable to convince the decision-maker to heed their warnings. The result was a series of policy decisions that often seemed driven more by political expediency and a desire to project an image of strength than by a coherent or well-thought-out strategy. The long-term consequences of these decisions for the global economy, for the future of American leadership, and for the very workers and businesses Trump claimed to be protecting remain to be seen. But the legacy of uncertainty and disruption he left behind will continue to cast a long shadow. The Trump administration's protectionism, marked by tariffs and confrontational trade negotiations, has disrupted the global economy. Intended to protect American jobs, these policies revealed the complexities of global trade. Uncertainty surged, supply chains were disrupted, and businesses faced unpredictable costs. The long-term consequences threaten global economic integration. Protectionism often yields unintended, detrimental consequences. The global economy thrives on balance and cooperation. Disrupting this balance affects the entire world.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.